You're listening to the Broken Havoc podcast on YouTube, where we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and as the frickin' referee would say, ring that damn bell for more notifications. What's up, everybody? It is Broken Havoc here, right here on the Broken Havoc podcast, here to review Friday Night SmackDown from January 28th, 2022, coming to us from Kansas City, Missouri. Of course, this is the go-home SmackDown before tonight's Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. Overall thoughts on this show, this was not really, it was an okay go-home show. Really, there was a lot of stuff on the show that was quite typical, like rematches, matches that you really do not care about, booking that was kind of questionable, and, really, let's be honest, the only interesting aspect on this show was that last segment between, of course, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. That's all. Of course, the Royal Rumble is happening tonight, and that is actually, I'm actually really excited to see actually what goes down at the Royal Rumble, because of the fact that there's a lot of possibilities going on at the Royal Rumble. Of course, all those rumors of Ronda Rousey are just running rampant right now in the news. But we're going to be talking about Friday Night SmackDown. But before I get on with the SmackDown review, make sure to check out my Rampage review, which is already uploaded on the channel. The same as my Royal Rumble predictions that I uploaded yesterday. Check out those those videos, of course, especially those of Royal Rumble predictions, because I really discuss in depth about what I think is going to be happening at the Royal Rumble, because there's many different possibilities that can happen at the Royal Rumble event and at the Royal Rumble match itself. So a lot of possibilities there, but check out those videos. Of course, tomorrow I have the Royal Rumble review, the full pay-per-view review, uploading tomorrow on Sunday right here on the Broken Havoc podcast on YouTube, the same as New Shock episode 3, where I discuss the latest rumors and news on WWE and AEW. So be on the lookout for those videos as well. But as always, let's get straight into the SmackDown review. The show kicks off with Charlotte Flair, of course, the SmackDown Women's Champion. The show starts off with her. Of course, she is going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble tonight at the Royal Rumble. She's going to be one of the participants in the match. Of course, we got people like Mickie James, who is the Impact Knockouts champion. She's going to be in the match as well. So there's a lot of things going on. Really, the WWE has built the Women's Royal Rumble as basically just the Nostalgia Rumble, because they've been building the majority of this whole Women's Royal Rumble based on the legends and the veterans that they're bringing in. Of course, they're bringing in Lita. They're bringing in people like Summer Rae. First off, no disrespect and not a personal knock on Summer Rae, but I just do not think that Summer Rae is a legend. That's just my opinion. But the show kicks off with Charlotte Flair, and she talks about how she will do something special that the Chiefs will never do again, and that is bring a champion to Kansas City. There's nothing more unpredictable than the Women's Royal Rumble. It's every single woman for herself. She didn't have to enter the Royal Rumble match. She could have cruised all the way to WrestleMania, but that's not what kind of champion she is. She takes control. That's why she is the most dominant women's champion in WWE's history. Now, normally the winner chooses the winner that they are going to, the champion that they're going to be facing, but this time it's going to be the winner choosing the challenger. So at this point, after that, she says she just changes the game and all that stuff, and then she will choose the challenger at, of course, this year's WrestleMania. It's a main event, WrestleMania. Then after that, Shayna Baszler comes out, and this is where the typical WWE nonsense starts. So Shayna Baszler comes in. Why? It's your typical WWE segment. Tomorrow night, she basically states that tomorrow night ends up being her again, as she will not hesitate to snap her like a twig, limb by limb. But then she will make her a promise. After she throws her over the top rope, she will challenge her at WrestleMania. She needs to make sure that her limbs are all healed up. And then after that little mini promo that Shayna Baszler cut, what happens? Aaliyah comes out. Yes, Aaliyah. And she has a freaking shirt that states, Aaliyah 317. Of course, a little, copying of Austin's 316 shirt, which it's like every time when they have an angle like this, they'll come out with the shirt. Like, I do not know why, but it's something that, people need to keep in mind. But I don't know why Aaliyah's here. Of course, you guys already know my stance on the whole Aaliyah thing with 3.0 3.17 seconds. I think it's absolutely a joke, in my opinion. WWE takes that more seriously than they do their actual championships. Keep that in mind. But she comes out and talks about, how she beat Natalya in 3.7 seconds. Nobody cares. Then what happens? Natalya comes out. Natty calls her a rude, clueless, delusional, and lucky. And optimistic is not one of them. Natalya says that she is a 3-time Guinness World Record. Well, I'm sorry, Natalya. At least Britt Baker has 3 actual pro wrestling awards instead of a freaking Guinness World Record. But yeah, after that, I'm just kidding. Shotzi Blackheart then comes out, and then she says that there are all egos in the ring. Charlotte then gets pissed off. Then, goes on a rant saying that none of them belong in the same ring as her. Typical Charlotte Flair rant. Then Sasha Banks actually comes out, so it's great to see Sasha Banks back in a WWE ring. Then she proceeds to slap Charlotte right in the face, and then the brawl breaks loose. Then we get an enziguri by Natalya on Aaliyah. Then she takes out Shayna, but then we get a boot by Charlotte. Sasha then blocks the boot by Charlotte and sends her straight to the outside, and Sasha Banks is the last one standing, which basically confirms that Sasha Banks will be in the Women's Royal Rumble tonight. Overall thoughts on this opening segment on the show. To be quite honest, it is your typical WWE segment. Was not really the biggest fan of it, to be quite honest with you. I'm just not. WWE does these types of segments all the freaking time. It happens with the men. It happens with the women. It is constantly repetitive. And, I definitely expected somewhat of a 6-woman tag team match to happen. Theodore Long will just come in out of nowhere and just be like, we're going to get a 6-woman tag team match, holla, holla, holla. But that was not the case. But overall thoughts on this opening segment, I just did not care about this opening segment whatsoever. We got Rich Holland and Sheamus versus Ricochet and Cesaro. I definitely do see one-on-one matches happening with these two particular teams next week on SmackDown because it's bound to happen. But overall, the match starts. Both Sheamus and Cesaro lock up. Both lock up again. We get a side headlock takeover by Sheamus. Sheamus then goes to the outside. We get a side headlock takeover by Cesaro. Then Sheamus gains control. We get a shoulder tackle by Sheamus. Then we get a clothesline by Cesaro. We get a double stomp by Cesaro. Ricochet tags in. We get an elbow off the top by Ricochet. Then we get a couple of knees by Sheamus. Rich Holland then makes the tag after that. Works on Ricochet, and then he sends it Ricochet to the corner. But Ricochet counters and sends Holland to the outside. But then we get a springboard kick by Ricochet. And then he hits a senton over the top rope on the outside. Once we're back from commercial break, Sheamus is in control over Ricochet. And then Ricochet fights back. Then Sheamus hits the Irish Curse backbreaker after that. Then after the Irish Curse, Holland is a legal man. He runs Ricochet to each corner of the ring with a couple of splashes. Then we get a suplex by Rich Holland. No, I think it was a superplex. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Ricochet is bleeding from the mouth at this point. Yes, they show that he was bleeding from the mouths. So then we get a body slam by Holland. We get an elbow drop by Holland. We get a cover into near fall. Ricochet then hits a beautiful springboard moonsault after that. Then the hot tag is made. Cesaro and Sheamus then go at it. Then Cesaro takes Sheamus to the outside. We get an uppercut on the outside by Cesaro. Then we get a crossbody off the top by Cesaro. Then Cesaro applies an inside cradle, which countered into a backbreaker. When he countered the backbreaker, my bad. Cesaro countered the backbreaker to apply a freaking inside cradle. We get a near fall. Then Ricochet takes out Holland. We get a knee by Sheamus on Ricochet, but then Cesaro takes down Sheamus. Holland tags in. Cesaro tries to go for the swing, but then doesn't realize that Holland is the legal man. So then Holland plants Cesaro to the mat. We get a cover. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus and Rich Holland win this match. Overall thoughts on this match? It was not a bad match, but let's be honest, I did not care at all about this whole match, in my opinion. I just absolutely just did not care at all. It just doesn't pique my interest, to be quite honest with you. We've already seen, Ricochet go up against Sheamus so many different times last week and previous weeks on SmackDown, so it really makes no sense for this match to happen. But I definitely do see, this whole tag team match being split in singles matches for the next couple of weeks on SmackDown, because it's bound to happen, because it is typical WWE booking. So after that, Pat McAfee, of course, is excited as hell for his first Royal Rumble. Then we get actually a really good match that I actually really enjoyed. Naomi versus Sonia Deville. So before the match starts, Sonia Deville was talking with the referee, demanding that, of course, the referee goes the way that Sonia tells him to go, but instead the referee actually refused and said he's going to call it down right the middle. So the match starts. Overall, I actually thought this match was really good. Naomi looked absolutely great, in my opinion. Sonya Deville is really good in the ring as well, but of course, she's half corporate, half wrestler. That is the story that they're really telling with Naomi. A lot of people are saying that Naomi might win the Women's Royal Rumble, which I am completely not against. But at the same time, I want Naomi to turn heel and just join the Bloodline. That is just my opinion, man. It has to happen. I don't know what WWE is waiting for, but Naomi really needs to join the Bloodline. That's just my opinion. But after that, the match starts. We get a kick by Sonya, both brawl. We get repeated stomps by Sonya after that. She takes Naomi face first to the mat. Sonya applies a chin lock. Naomi tries to escape. Naomi then goes for a Hurricane Rana after that. Sonya, at this point, is on the apron. Sonya then goes for the knees. Then we get a kick by Sonya onto the midsection. Then she proceeds to take down Naomi. We get a cover and a near fall. Naomi then hits a slap. We got a drop kick by Naomi. Then we get a kick by Sonya through the middle rope. Then both are on the outside. Naomi then drives Sonya onto the apron. Both go back in the ring. We get a cover and a kick out. Sonya then is on the outside. Naomi then tries to go for the baseball slide, but then Sonya couches her and plants her to the floor, which looked absolutely painful in my opinion. Once we're back from commercial break, Naomi is in control. Sonya then counters and hits a spine buster on Naomi. We get a side chin lock by Sonya. She takes Naomi down. We get a cover and a 1 count. Then we get a side chin lock by Sonya. We get a second takedown by Sonia Deville, but then Naomi then gets up and hits a high kick. Then Naomi hits an enziguri after that. Then after that, we get a springboard stunner attempt. It looked somewhat like a springboard stunner by Naomi. So Sonya's in the corner. We get a splash in the corner by I think it was Naomi. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yep, Naomi. And then she sends Sonya face first to the turnbuckle, but then Naomi goes to the top. Naomi then hits a crossbody. We get a cover and a near fall. Naomi hits a leg drop. We got a cover and a near fall as well. Naomi then tries to go for the running bulldog, but then Deville pushes her to the corner, hitting Naomi face first into the top turnbuckle. I think it was the top turnbuckle or the middle turnbuckle, one of those. But then we get a front suplex and a DDT combination by Sonya, which looked absolutely beautiful in my opinion. It was like a front suplex. Like even the commentators did not know what the hell that move was. But we get a cover and a near fall. She proceeds to pick up Naomi. Naomi then counters and plants Sonya to the mat. We got a roll up by Naomi and a near fall. Naomi then pushes the leg of Sonya. Sonya then targets the eyes of Naomi without the referee looking. We get a cover and a near fall. Naomi then goes for a hip attack in the center of the ring. Then after that, Naomi hits the split-legged moonsault. We get a cover 1, 2, 3, and Naomi beats Sonya Deville absolutely clean in the ring. Overall thoughts on this match? This is actually one of the best matches on SmackDown in my opinion this week. It was not a bad match at all. Really good match. Sonya Deville looked great. Naomi as well. She's always great as possible. She's arguably, in my opinion, one of the best female wrestlers on the WWE roster. That's just my opinion. But after that, of course, Naomi, celebrates. But then Sonya Deville grabs the microphone and states that she has an announcement to make, and the announcement is that she will be participating in the Women's Royal Rumble match. So. Sonya Deville is going to be an entrance, and they still didn't reach 30 women. So WWE is going to have a little bit of trouble with that when it comes to the Women's Royal Rumble. Again, they basically built up this whole Women's Royal Rumble based on nostalgia when it comes to bringing in women like Lita, Summer Rae, Mickie James, all those female wrestlers. That's the whole purpose of the Women's Royal Rumble. They basically built up this whole Women's Royal Rumble as just a whole nostalgia train. That's just my opinion. These next two matches I'm not even going to discuss. You want to know why? Because they're just flat out filler. We got Insane with our guest Jinder Mahal and Shanky. Nobody really cared. This was honestly, Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura are amazing. Of course, they came in after that and they wrestled Jinder Mahal and Shanky. But what happens? Boogs and Nakamura win. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you. Number one, I just did not care about this match. There was no reason for me to just care about this match because it's flat out filler in my opinion. We got the New Day versus Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. Now, one thing I will state is that they basically stated that Big E is now part of the SmackDown roster. Of course, Big E is a wrestler on Raw, but now he's been on SmackDown for the past couple of weeks, so now they consider him a SmackDown wrestler, which absolutely makes no sense because there is no explanation as to why he's officially part of the SmackDown roster. Again, WWE needs to end this brand split because at this point, the brand split in 2022 is an absolute joke, in my opinion. Why the hell are they just, making shit up? Big E is officially part of the Raw roster, but then they instantly put him on SmackDown, so he's now declared a SmackDown wrestler. It makes absolutely no sense. WWE, stop with the lack of logic, please. Stop with the lack of logic. But yeah, we got the New Day versus Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. The New Day go over. What else do you got to say? Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin are honestly the worst aspects of SmackDown, if not the worst aspects of WWE TV, in my opinion. They're garbage. But we got the last segments with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. This was a really good segment. I really, really enjoyed this segment. It was a really fun segment. Both, of course, are in the center of the ring, and they just go at it verbally. Seth Rollins just cuts. First off, Roman Reigns tells Kansas City to acknowledge him. So that was actually freaking awesome. But after that, he wanted, Rollins stated that Reigns did the right thing, of course, by disqualifying the Usos. So, of course, now the Usos are banned from ringside in the match between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I did state in my predictions video that in one of the 2 title matches that's going to happen tonight, I said one of the guys are going to lose the title. One of the guys, either Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, are going to lose their respective championships. I think the most logical person to lose their respective title is 100% Brock Lesnar, and I've stated that in my predictions video. I think it'd be really foolish for WWE to basically just take the belt off Roman Reigns and give it to Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins will have go on his own little angle headed towards WrestleMania. I think it would make absolutely no sense because it would diminish Roman Reigns' character. Not only that, it would render everything that we saw with Roman Reigns absolutely useless. But after that, of course, Rollins states that he brought shame to everyone. Then Roman Reigns retaliates and talks about how he's on God mode and all that stuff. But really, the star of this whole segment was really both. Both guys really, you could tell the emotion that is in this match. And Rollins, of course, goes on and talks about the Shield and, of course, the steel chair to the back. Of course, he hit the steel chair on Dean Ambrose first, and then he went on Roman Reigns. But, he talks about the steel chair to the back. And then, no, I think it was Roman Reigns first. Correct me if I'm wrong. I completely forgot. One of those. I think it was definitely Roman Reigns first. It just clicked in my head. But one of those guys, of course, he hit the steel chair, and then he joined Triple H, and then the whole authority angle then started. But, he talks about that. Roman gets pissed off, and, of course, Reigns says he tried to forgive him, but he will never forgive him what he did to them, that being Jon Moxley and Roman Reigns, of course, way back in 2014. And then Roman Reigns actually had the balls to say, "I hate you." Then after that, of course, both go at it verbally. Then Rollins continues to state that, Roman Reigns is a joke, going as far as to say Roman Reigns' family is a joke. So, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins really went at it. And then Roman Reigns got so pissed after he said that you could tell by the look on his face that he really wanted to beat the shit out of Seth Rollins. But after that, of course, he pushes Seth Rollins. Both push each other back and forth. After that, they try to fight off, but then, of course, Rollins just escapes. Like, he legit escapes, just like the last couple of weeks. And after that, of course, that sets the tone for their match tonight at the Royal Rumble, and the show ends. Overall thoughts on this segment. I really enjoyed this segment. It gets me more excited for their match at the Royal Rumble, and I think that's definitely 100% going to be the best match of the entire night, in my opinion. But overall, this show, was it a good go-home show for SmackDown on the SmackDown side of things for the Royal Rumble? My answer is no. WWE hasn't been really good when it comes to go-home shows. SmackDown has been really terrible for the past couple of weeks, in my opinion. And, they gave us matches that nobody gives a shit about. Illogical booking and just repetitive stuff on the show. Again, one of the main reasons why I'm rushing on this review is because of the fact that the Royal Rumble is less than 5 minutes away. Not only that, I'm rushing through the show is because of the fact that the show is just that damn bad. But again, the only thing interesting on this show was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. But that was, my thoughts on SmackDown, and that was my SmackDown review from January 28th, 2022. Overall, this was really an show. It was not the best show. It was really not good at all. But really the best thing was Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. But yeah, that was my SmackDown review from January 28th, 2022. Be on the lookout tomorrow for my Royal Rumble review. I'm going to review the full pay-per-view because I do think, with all the things that are happening at the Royal Rumble tonight, there's a lot of possibilities that can happen on the show. So check that out. Of course, I got episode 3 of New Shock being uploaded on Monday, so be on the lookout for that as well. If you guys haven't checked out the Rampage review and the Royal Rumble predictions, go ahead and check those out right here on the channel. But yeah, that is Broken Havoc from the Broken Havoc podcast with my SmackDown review. Signing out.